Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Stephanie. How you doing today? Greetings from the Arctic tundra of Vermont. That actually, it has been a relatively mild winter this year. This morning we went out and it was like 35 degrees. I couldn't believe it. 35 degrees, it was snowing, and then sun was shining. Go figure. I wanted to hop on today really quickly and give you a review. I was at TJ Maxx. They had this palette. I couldn't resist. I dug in the box and I looked at it and I was like, oh my god. It is the D Shade Light Glimmer palette. It is beautiful. It's plastic. It's got this holographic writing on it right here, see? When I opened it up, I was like, oh my god, I must have that. And I'm going to try not to blind you with this, but I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. See? It is lovely. I have used this palette a few times, and my initial thoughts are, it's a beautiful palette. It really is. But I'm going to do some swatches. I'm going to do one arm with primer and another arm without primer. And I want to do that because I want to give you a good idea of what's going on with this palette. Because quite frankly, in hindsight, I don't think I would have bought this palette. It looks beautiful, like, in here. You know, when you first look at it, it's like, geez, that is beautiful, and I really hope these colors actually look like this on the eye, you know, but you can't really go and start swatching stuff in TJ Maxx because, you know, I mean, come on, if you just choose not to buy it, why ruin it for somebody else? That's rude. And if you don't normally use eye primer and you don't want to spend the money on it because you just think it's not worth it, I get it, I understand. Don't buy this palette if that's the case, because I think you will be sorely disappointed. Her other eyeshadow palette, the standard Shade and Light palette for eyes, I almost wish I had purchased that instead. That palette also was at TJ Maxx, so you can still purchase it on her website. I'm going to link that below so that if you can't find it at TJ Maxx, if you do really still want the palette, you can buy it that way. So let's just dive right in. When I was testing these out, I figured I would use the colors that show up the most because you want to see it actually show up on the face. It's set up really to be used like, here's a setup, here's a setup, here's a setup. Base, contour, shading, and you know, maybe inner corner highlight, that kind of thing. It's fairly simple if you're new to makeup and you don't really know what you're doing. It's kind of idiot proof, I would say. Honestly, you could interchange all the colors. I mean, they're all pretty kind of neutral. If you wanted to, say, use this base with these colors, or you know, vice versa, whatever you want to do, you can do that too. Just play around and have fun with it. I've already primed my eyes. I'm going to start with this just to lay something down. That way hopefully the colors will blend a little bit better. And I have to tell you, there's a crap ton of fallout with this palette. And if it doesn't bother you, if you do your base makeup after you do your eyeshadow, then you don't even need to worry about that because you can just clean it up, then do your foundation. I typically do my foundation first, which sometimes gets me in trouble, especially with palettes like this. So, you know, to each their own. But, so we're just going to start by laying this down. And now again, I'm just letting you know, just to reiterate, eyeshadow base that I use is almost like a glitter glue. It's very, very tacky. So you will see that color pay off with a tacky eye base. And I need to find a tacky eye base that has some color in it that conceals as well, because the older I get. And now I don't know if this is showing up on camera or not, but you see that this still has kind of a sheen, even though in the pan it really doesn't look like there's any shimmer to it. It does have this slight bit of shimmer to it. So there you have it. Next, I'm just gonna take the same fluffy brush and go into this color right here and do that as kind of a transition shade. I'm gonna pick quite a bit of that up. Hopefully that's actually showing up on camera. I have actually dipped my brush into this pan. This is the 5th time. So it's maybe the nature of the color, but it just really is not showing up very well. And at this point I'm not even tapping off my brush. I think I've done about as much damage as I can with that color. So, and I don't know if you can see this, but it's getting powder everywhere. I don't know what to tell you. Next I'm going to go in with this shade. It's kind of a wine shimmer, Merlot color maybe. And I'm just gonna start by tapping it on. Ah, the camera just stopped. Okay, so starting by just tapping this on, because like I said, there is a lot of fallout on here. And just tap it right here. And then I'm just gonna use my brush to kind of pull it out and into the crease. And then I'll just start blending, 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 blending away. Blend, blend, blend. And obviously, the darker shades do go on much better. They're much more pigmented, so that's a plus, I will say. Wow, it is so windy outside. I hope that is not picking up on my camera. And then I am just going to take that fluffy brush that we used before. I'm cleaning it off in a color switch, and I'm just going to blend that upward. So I'm going to take some more of this color right here, and I'm just going to run it under my waterline here and bring it up in. Seeing how we're in that color anyways. I feel like it needs to be brightened up, so I am going to use this color right here, but I am going to take a flat shader brush and I'm going to spritz it with some Urban Decay All Nighter. I found that that's really the best way for it to show up. So let's get to that. Let's spray away. I definitely want to try that Hangover RX. I heard it smells really good and works really well. Okay, so I can already feel fallout. And I'm just packing this on. Okay, so it went on reasonably well. But again, it's really something that you have to just use something. Glitter primer, setting spray. I used both. Because I don't know if you can see that, but it just, some of these colors just don't show up. He wants to say hello. I know. Oh my god. You're so massive. He cannot be ignored. This one refuses to be ignored. It's not possible. And I'm going to take my little brush that I used for this color and just kind of blend these two together. Alright, easy peasy. Now I'm going to sneak off, put on some eyeliner, some mascara, do my brows, and we'll show you the finished look in just a minute. And here's the finished look. Now, I like the way that it came out. Don't get me wrong. It took a while to get there because the eyeshadows aren't easy to use. You really have to work with them. The formula isn't as good as a lot of the eyeshadows that I have, so I was very disappointed because I've got some of the Kat Von D Metal Crush eyeshadows that I absolutely love. They are buttery and they are highly pigmented and they're beautiful. And I wish I could say the same for these, but I can't, unfortunately. Would I recommend that you go out and buy it? Only if you're willing to do the work. If you're willing to buy a tacky eyeshadow primer, if you're willing to spend a half an hour blending your eyeshadow, then I say go for it. If you're not willing to do that, I say just pass. Just pass, because you won't use it, because it's just labor intensive. So I know that I've had this palette now for, I would say, 2 weeks. I have played around with it, but when I'm in a hurry and I need to get to work and I want to put on something that looks good, I don't have time to be messing with that. It's just too much trouble. So I say, if you're going to buy either one, get the matte palette, because those shadows are nice and you would probably have much better luck and you'd probably use it quite a bit more often. This palette is probably gonna go on my stack, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I might use it occasionally as like the glimmer shadows for like eye toppers, but it's disappointing. But thank God I didn't pay, you know, almost $40 for it, because I think I picked up for $22 at TJ Maxx. So if you're gonna get it, look there first, by all means. Hopefully this video helped you out a little bit. You know, of course it's just my opinion, and you know what they say about opinions, they are like, yeah, everybody has one. So thank you for watching. Have a wonderful, fantastic, beautiful day. We'll see you next time. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.